Let's talk about Squarespace.
Let's.
You know, I'm just so excited. So many people have found Squarespace to start their websites from.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You get started with a free trial at squarespace.com with no credit card required.
No, and the funny thing is I have a lot of people come up and go, all right, girl, listen, I listen to a podcast. Is Squarespace really good? I'm like, it's really good.
It is really good.
Yes. We don't talk about stuff that we don't believe in, so go for it.
Yeah. And they even have this new version called Squarespace 7, which is a completely redesigned interface, new templates, and an incredible new feature called cover pages.
I thought that was the new series of Star Trek. Star Trek Squarespace 7.
It's almost like that. I mean, it's really futuristic and lovely.
Yes.
And they've made making a website so easy.
Yep.
Now, when you're ready to purchase a plan, get 10% off with the offer code RU. That's squarespace.com, offer code RU. Oh, my goodness, Michelle, I am so in love with my Boll Branch sheets.
Oh, I know why.
You know, listen, we work hard and you spend a lot of time in bed and, it's true. Well, it does not what you're thinking.
No, but as humans, we do.
I need a good night's sleep and I get such a great night's sleep on my Boll Branch sheets. Child.
It does make a difference.
It does make a
people
difference.
Think, oh, it doesn't make a difference. It makes such a difference. That's why people spend upwards of $2,000.
Yes. I've spent more.
Have you really?
More. I sure have.
For the high thread count.
Yes.
And I know my people that have a nice job and they can afford that. They do that. But here's the deal. Here's the tea. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay that money and still get that quality from Boll Branch.
Yes. Listen, I've slept on the sheets that with the high thread count that's cost upwards of $3,000.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I have. But these Boll Branch sheets are just as comparable and beautiful and relaxing and feel so good to the touch.
Yeah, for about half of the price of what stores and boutiques would charge you.
Yes.
And by the way, their quality is not going to be as good as Boll Branch.
You're so right. All you got to do is go to bollandbranch.com and there's an offer code there where you can get $50 off a set of sheets if you put in /RU.
Yep. Boll and Branch is so sure you guys are going to fall in love with them like we did that they're going to give you 30 nights to try them out. So if you don't love them for any reason, they take them back, refund you without any hassle, and it gets better just like Ru said. If you order right now, they're going to give you $50 off a set of sheets plus free shipping. So just go to bollandbranch.com, use the promo code RU, $50 towards a sheet set, bam, BOLL and branch.com. Do it.
That's right. Sweet dreams, darling. Hey, it's Ru with Michelle. What's the tea?
Hi, boo.
Hey, darling. Now, we've got a special guest today, Wendy Ho, who does these fabulous parody songs. You mean like Weird Al and Lady Bunny does it. Lady Bunnies are very crude.
Yeah, well, how is that shocking to you in any way?
Well, especially, I met Lady Bunny when she was 19 years old.
So in the 30s.
This is right after World War II.
Right after Prohibition.
She was making moonshine.
In her bathtub.
Yes, that's what she did. Yes. But, and I have always loved them because I love the irreverence of it. And that's what Wendy Ho does.
Yeah.
Which is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites? You do them too, don't you?
Well, I do them when I'm out on the road and I sing a theater song. Sometimes I'll sing it straight up the way it's written, but sometimes it's fun to change it. Even when I do Mama Morton from Chicago, I change the words. And I don't know if it's parody, but it just brings it to a more relevant kind of.
How do you change the words to that song? What are the lyrics to that song?
She says in the beginning, she talks about all the chickies in her pen. So I just change it to all the drag queens in my pen.
I love it.
Things like that.
I love it. Well, on our Christmas, I do that Christmas album,
Yes!
Ho, 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 which we did in 1997, I
96
think.
or 97.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We is it you and I who sing?
We do Bells.
We do with
and
Bells
Hard
on.
Candy Christmas.
And Hard Candy Christmas.
Yeah.
But and then I saw Daddy kissing Santa
Right,
Claus.
and you did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Drag Queen.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the way that I do things. So you still get the song like, I do Dance 10 Looks 3, Tits and Ass from Chorus Line. And in the beginning she says, but after a while I caught on. I mean, I saw what they were hiring, so I do. But after a while, I caught on. I saw what they were hiring. And instead of saying, I swiped my dance card once after an audition, I say, I tried tucking once after an audition. And on a scale of 10, they gave me, for drag, 10. For looks, 3. And then according to it that way, I call it Drag 10 Looks 3. So I guess they're parodies in a way.
Yeah.
But it's more about making a song relevant for my audience.
Yeah.
Right?
And fun for you and fun for the audience. I love it. You know, I love that irreverence. I love anybody who can twist a phrase. I'm always there because I'm always looking for my mind to be, bent a little bit.
And I love waiting for what's going to come next, especially when you write it. Like I started writing, and anybody could steal it now at this point, but I will be performing it. I did. Les Mis came out last year. It was all the rage. And I love, one of my favorite songs is Bring Him Home, which is the God on High, that really ballad, that gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I changed it to Send Her Home. And I start out by going, Ru on high, hear my praise. And I start talking how you should send these girls home, like on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
So I love things like that because each line, when they're original, you don't know what's coming next when you're sitting watching a show.
Yeah.
So each line that comes, you just crack up.
Yeah.
And a big inspiration for me was, do you know, I'm sure you know who this is, but there's a woman who used to entertain back in the day named Ruth Wallace.
Yes.
So her boob song and her songs, the more I got into them, she was like a burlesque entertainer, but really a queer entertainer.
Yes.
And her songs just really inspired me to start getting queerer with my lyrics when I rewrite these fabulous pieces of musical history into kind of drag musical history.
Is it possible for you to be queerer?
I think it's always possible.
Well, I guess there's always room for more queer.
Yes,
yes,
I love it.
Well, Wendy Ho is a very queer entertainer, twisted mind.
Love it.
So let's bring her on right now.
I'd love it.
Hey, let's talk about Squarespace. So many of our listeners write and talk about how easy and wonderful Squarespace is with this thing, free trial, no credit card required. The latest version, Squarespace 7, how it's changed people's lives. It's just fantastic with cover pages. Websites are so easy now. And, everybody's writing to us at our Gmail account. What's the Gmail account, Michelle?
RuPaul Podcast. No, not RuPaul's. RuPaul Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes. And we got an email from someone this time.
We got one from Nathan Pinnell, I think, if I'm saying it right. He said,
I had a teacher in high school called Pinnell, Mr. Pinnell.
Mr. Pinnell?
Yeah.
You did?
I loved him. Maybe this is from Mr. Pinnell.
I don't think so.
No?
But it's from Nathan Pinnell. Maybe it's his grandson.
Maybe it's his play cousin.
Yeah, or play cousin.
Yeah.
He says, Dear Ru, for my entire adult life, I've been on disability since I'm autistic. Being autistic means I'm as compatible with most jobs as a cat is with a bathtub full of ice water. Nathan says, as long as I can remember, I've been enamored by photography, which drove me to never stop honing my skills with a camera. For years, I wanted to make a living doing photography, as it's something that I'm not only very talented in, but it's also something that gives me pleasure and relaxes me. Now, a few months ago, I became extremely frustrated with the state of my life. I just despised it. I wanted it better for myself. I didn't know what to do, but I was scared. So I listened to the podcast, and I heard your ad for Squarespace and how easy it was to make a website. And I said, you know what? If Ru's doing an ad for it, then chances are it's a quality service.
I love that.
Nathan's got his website up and running. It's called mountaincountrytreasures.com. Mm-hmm. So mountaincountrytreasures.com. He set it up. He said he's got a gorgeous canvas prints made to sell. He's got the less glamorous part of getting a business done. Mm-hmm. And he's listened to the interviews that we did here on What's the Tea. And these are some of the things that have helped him get through.
I love it. Making a website has never been easier. Now, when you're ready to purchase a plan like Nathan did, get 10% off with the offer code RU. That's squarespace.com, offer code RU. Well, she's here. We got Wendy Ho is up in here, and we are living. Finally, we got you on the show.
I know. I'm so excited to be here.
There are so many things I want to ask you, but before we do that, Michelle is dying to talk about her nails.
Them.
What is going on with you?
It's the new technique. We need to put a picture.
A nail teak.
It's called
nail teak. Mm-hmm. Did you coin that phrase?
No, I didn't. There's a product called
nail teak, which is great. It's for when you take your acrylic off and your nails look like paper.
Yeah,
right.
They
right.
Look like
nail teaks make them strong.
Yeah, they're
okay.
awful. So gross.
So what's going on with your nails?
These are called Rockstar Glitter Gel.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And she faded rose into silver into gold.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Wait, can I come over where you are and look at them? Because
You're going to die.
Yeah, look at this.
Look.
Honey.
Look at.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, Michelle.
Aren't they?
Oh,
they really are. Like
Aren't they?
Gold.
Really?
I love that.
Isn't it?
Look at that.
I'm telling you.
Oh, you know what?
honey, you done did it.
Yes!
You done did it right there.
What's interesting about the gradation is it's not from top to bottom. It's from side to side.
Yes.
That's gorgeous.
I am in love. And you could do any colors. Like my nail girl had like green. I was like, anything but green. So I did the rose into the silver into the gold. And I want it to be subtle because I'm still trying to channel Barbara.
You're a lady.
Yeah,
you're a lady.
She's fucking
Yeah.
Funny lady.
Yeah, you're a funny lady. Exactly.
wow.
Still trying to do my Barbara channeling.
Yes.
But I want to keep it a little modern. Thoroughly modern Michelle.
Now, Wendy, are you a nail girl?
I was until I found out I was allergic to acrylic.
Really?
I woke up in the middle of the night in a hotel in Minnesota or some
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And I was scratching my nail beds off. And I was like, oh my God,
They
what is
itched,
going
all
on?
of them itched.
Yeah. Like, and it was a progressive thing. And they said you find out progressively
Right.
over time. You keep using it and then you find out.
Girl,
and then once you're allergic,
you
you're
could do
allergic.
gels.
Yeah.
You could do gels.
Well,
You could do gels.
I'm afraid now.
When you
because
woke
of
up,
the experience.
was there blood in your panties at all? But
I didn't scratch that much.
no. Well, but that's a sure sign that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something
Either
is
someone
wrong.
has slipped something in your drink,
Right.
or
Bill
you,
Cosby.
or you are allergic to acrylic nails,
or simply a biological female who's menstruating.
Yeah.
That's
or you're having
true.
your period.
Yeah.
That's true.
It
That
happens.
is true. You
Not
know.
for much longer, but it happens.
Yeah, but
Right.
you know, it's funny when
Bye-bye.
I think of blood in panties, I don't think of it up front.
No, you think of Sharon Galt in
Yes,
Truth
in
or
Truth
Dare.
or Dare, exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly. Do you know who we're talking
I
about?
don't.
Yeah, you know, she was the makeup artist.
Madonna's makeup artist.
Oh, yeah. I do
Yes.
remember her.
She
yeah.
got ass raped in the movie. didn't she?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And there was
blood on her
yeah,
panties.
blood in her
Blood in her
panties. Because she was
panties.
so fucked up, she didn't remember it.
Yeah, not to be confused with blood in your stool, which
No.
is a whole different.
That's a whole
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
thing. That's a
So
whole
now,
other thing.
before Michelle got here, Wendy and I were talking, and there were so many things I wanted to ask you because, but I didn't want to do it until we were
Good.
actually
Okay, now we're
on
ready.
the show. Yeah.
Go.
So where
We're
are
doing
you
it.
from?
I was born in Ohio.
Where in
but-
Ohio?
Toledo.
Toledo.
But then we moved to Kansas City when I was like 12.
Kansas or
So,
Missouri?
Kansas.
Huh.
In the
Kansas
state
City,
of Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah. Because it's rough up in Kansas City, isn't it? It's
It
like,
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
you-
the same with St. Louis. Because when you sat down, I thought, this girl is from St. Louis.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I went to school in Springfield, Missouri. So, like, I am more Missouri than I am Kansas. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, I mean, that's just a line that's right there, you
Yeah,
know? But
We
it's a
just
feel.
came from the Battle of the Seasons tour was just in Springfield, Columbia,
Yep.
and St. Louis.
That's my hoods. Yeah.
And St. Louis is no joke.
No, was there a metal detector at the theater?
There should have been.
There should have been.
Yeah.
It is
Yes.
no
They
joke.
ain't
They do
playing.
not play around.
Nope.
I loved that city. I
Yeah.
love the eclecticness. I love the hood aspect, but I also love the passion for music that they have.
Oh,
in St.
yeah.
Louis.
They love music.
and the food.
Uh-huh. Oh, girl.
Really? What are you talking about? St. Louis or
St.
Kansas
Louis
City?
in the Momo. St.
Okay.
Louis.
I like St. Louis
Yeah.
food, but I mean, like, when I go home, you know, I'm throwing down on some barbecue. Girl.
You put on that eating dress.
I sure do. I get out the moo and I go moo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm ready.
God, I'm so happy you're here. Wendy Ho is here, and of course, everybody out there knows her from the videos and the records and the interpretations of songs.
Interpretation. That's a good
Uh-huh.
word. I like that.
that you do. Which of your videos on YouTube has the most views?
Poop noodle. Without a doubt.
You know what you had for dinner.
You know.
Poop noodle.
The dessert.
How did
It's
you
a
come up with poop
cuisine.
noodle?
Well, this is a true story. I was working out in Fire Island at the illustrious Ass Palace. I don't know if y'all been there.
Yes,
Over Cherry
yes.
Grove.
yes, we know it well.
And I was putting my things away doing a gig, and I looked over at my bed and I was like, oh, there's a little bit of poop on my comforter right
How
there.
about
What
that?
a classy establishment. They got me saying that. So
Yes.
I went down to the concierge, loose quotation mark.
Right.
And I said, excuse me, I don't mean to be a diva, but there's poop on my comforter.
Oh my.
And he was like, he had the nerve to say, are you sure it's poop and not vaginal blood? And I was like,
And
I was
the
like,
difference would
hello.
be what?
Well, I don't know, but I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you couldn't, how is one better than the
Well,
other?
that's the thing. It's excrement, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
bodily
It's
fluid
DNA.
coming out, right. So I was like, I'm not going to answer that, but I need you to get me a new comforter,
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
Yes.
if
Yes.
not a new room,
And
right?
some free Wi-Fi.
So I then thought about, well, like, how'd that poop get there? And I was like, that was a poop noodle. And like, I had heard kind of it fabled that like, poop that comes out of your penis head after you have the ass sex is a poop noodle.
Okay.
And so it got me thinking, and there, inspiration.
Gay folklore.
Yes.
It's interesting how you never know where that inspiration is going to come from. As an artist.
Usually from desperation.
It breeds inspiration.
Yes.
And sends poop noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's gotten the most amount of views.
It has.
Now, and I can say this as a brown skinned person. How is it that you are you are, how do I say this? Your knowledge of Black culture. I'm doing this the right way.
No, you said it right.
Yeah.
We don't want no riots.
Right. We don't want no riots up in here. You're so good at it, and you know what? And it's not derogatory. It's with a lot of love.
I'm so glad you see that.
It is it's so much.
I could cry right now. How much I love.
Well, it wouldn't. You know what? The truth is, it wouldn't be as great as it is if the love wasn't there. What makes it so great is that there's a clear love of the culture, of everything about
everything.
Yeah.
And it really does come from my love of like my best friend growing up was the Black girl Tamiko Cook.
What's her name? Tamiko?
Tamiko.
Not Tamika.
Tamiko Cook.
I love it.
I love it. Is she still around?
I have lost touch. I have looked everywhere. Facebook. I've said it on podcasts before. I'm like, please, she has no idea how much like she affected because we moved from Ohio.
Yeah.
Like when I was little, and we just lost touch. But
Tamiko
she really I would laugh harder with her than I've ever laughed in my life, and a lot of times it's because she would have to explain to me like what she was saying. I was like, what are you talking about, girl? She'd be like, call me up. My favorite one ever with her was she's like, I want you to come to my mom's Jerry party, and I was like, who is Jerry? I was like, I'll be there, but I don't know who that is. And she was like, no, Jerry, girl, earring, necklace, and bracelets. And I was like, oh my God, girl. And I wrote a song called Jerry Party about her. Yes, I did. And I mean, just like she was just my salvation.
Have you gotten a lot of shit for it over the years?
I've had a little flare-ups here and there of I guess just misunderstanding.
Yeah, of course.
Of like what's going on there. Basically, I can see very much how people be like, you're doing blackface.
Well,
like you're walking a really fine line between, and it's the thing is, I mean, I don't know that I have anything that will excuse it or, make it completely
there
okay.
Is, because you're a comic.
Yeah.
You are a comic.
And it's fun.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
People get mixed up with intention, and they're looking for, the ego is looking for an opportunity to co-opt a situation so that it could strengthen its position as a victim or as someone who has been put down or put aside.
Yep.
And a lot of people, a lot of humans who have egos, we all do, are hungry egos. So they're looking for those situations. Completely. And when it's obvious that things are coming from a place of love and the intention is just to laugh.
Yeah.
Well, what she's doing is not unlike what happened with Hooker Makeover. So what it is you're celebrating what you love.
Completely.
Exactly.
And you are doing that through your art. Some people just can't understand
Can't see it as a celebration.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But
Hooker,
it is.
Hooker Makeover was a show that Michelle did on YouTube where she would ask a passerby if they'd like a hooker makeover.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it was fantastic. And she dressed them up.
Yes. Yeah. And they could earn money too.
Money.
Real hooker makeover.
Exactly.
She dressed them up in some provocative clothing.
Yes.
And just put them out on Hollywood Boulevard.
To get some honks.
If she got people honking the horn, the contestant,
yes,
they would win $10 per horn honk.
Yes.
So you could rack up some real coins there.
$10 a honk.
Work it.
And the sex workers, or all you need is one or two
loudmouth
people in a community.
Yeah.
Whether it's gay, straight, trans, hookers, streetwalkers, whoever. Now, I can tell you, if you go back to the RuPaul show on VH1 in 1996, nobody in this world celebrates streetwalking hookers more than RuPaul and myself.
Oh, I know.
The people that we've revered since we were kids. I used to love to go by the Greyhound station when I was a little girl with my daddy when he drove into New York City to see the streetwalking hookers. They were so beautiful to me. And glamorous and everything I wanted to be visually. That shows today, I hope. With that said, it was a celebration. So you get one or two people that are like, you're being demeaning to the sex worker trade. It's like, I worked at a strip club for 2 years. I revere these women.
Honey.
You're getting it all wrong. So it's kind of like the same thing. You absolutely love, and this is what you're celebrating in that culture.
Absolutely. You know what I find funny about that whole thing, though, is that I feel like there is more of a conversation that will happen within our own community of drag, okay, about the racism thing. But then, like, if you're going to flip a coin, like, why wouldn't you talk about men dressing up as women as being something? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm like,
correct.
I think you are embodying, I mean, the queens taught me how to be a more fully realized woman. You know what I mean? And to celebrate what is feminine in a powerful way.
Yes.
So I get that very clearly. But like, there's no, I'm like, if we're going to have that conversation about this, then we should probably have a conversation about this too, right?
It doesn't work that way, though, because then you have the whole group of people out there who are, let's say, gays. This gay against gay crime. I have such an issue with it because there's a lot of gays who think that drag queens are severely misogynistic.
Right.
And being a woman, I do not see that at all. I
don't
see it
either.
as highly celebratory.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's all.
I see it and I say, thank God.
Right.
I mean, it is the biggest act of like punk rock, like in your face
rebellion
that you could do in, the white male society that we are dominated in.
Yeah, you're right. And see, this is what it gets down to. There are two types of people on this planet. And, Shakespeare said it best, which is, all the world's a stage and all men and women are merely players.
Yes.
The two types of people are the people who take the Matrix, for lack of a better word, as for face value, that it's real, that this play that we're doing is real and things must be taken seriously and you must. And then there are the people who see beyond the fourth wall and are able to see it for what it really is, which is all illusion. And you cannot take it all so seriously.
No, please don't.
You cannot take it. So, that's where, trying to explain intent or innuendo or double entendre to people who don't get that.
They never will.
You never will.
Won't get
you
it,
can't. You can't describe irony to an idiot.
No.
So that's where we are. And I've always loved. And I'm going to just go back for a minute to. I want to go back to Tamiko Cook.
Yeah.
And I want to go to her Jerry party, but I do want to say that I'm similar to you, as you well know, with the hookers. Ladies of the night.
Yes.
My whole sense of fashion, my whole sense of beautiful clothes comes from that.
Yes.
Well, that and Soul Train dancers, which is kind of the same thing. Yeah. I love it so much.
Yeah. But you could tell in your early drag. I knew you from when you were in full Greyhound Terminal Street.
Yes.
Oh,
glory. Yes. I like to mix my stripes with my polka dots.
Okay.
Primary bright colors.
Nothing better to me than conflicting patterns.
I love it.
I am sorry, but that's when I met you. I was 17.
Yep.
You were just a few years older, and a lot taller, and a lot less clothing, and a lot bigger hair. That's all it was. So that's why I fell in love with you without even knowing you, because you were that.
I love it.
And it was the epitome of glamour.
It was your streetwalker,
Totally. It was just like, there she is.
Yes.
It was your hoe dream.
I live for it. But so when you said Jerry party, I thought it was a Jerry curl party.
Me too.
I know, right? No, it was jewelry, girl.
And you knew Tamiko in what city?
In Toledo. And we were both like the poor kids, and I went to Catholic school. And that's another thing that like is highly influential of like what I've decided to do with myself, is because when you're Catholic, you're presented with two options as a woman. You get to be a virgin or you get to be a whore. And I'll be a hoe.
You chose the virginal route, obviously.
They say you can be Madonna or you could be Madonna. I said, I'll be Madonna. Thank you. You
could be the Madonna or Madonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Madonna, right. So her and I just, there was more of a class thing going on there in school, not a color thing. It was just like we were the poor kids, and you could see it because it wasn't a school that you wore uniforms, you wore nice clothes. Right. And we had like 2 outfits. And so we would go off, during playtime, and I would sing and dance for her ass. And she'd be like, you have no idea how funny this shit is. And she would just laugh, and I would just entertain her. And that was, I mean, really, and before that, I had never done plays or anything, but she kind of just like drew it like,
wow.
Oh, I could cry right
That is so beautiful.
We just gotta find her. I can't.
I
believe
know I
this
can't either in this day and age, like with Facebook and everything. Like I can't.
But it's true because I looked for my roommate in college. When you don't want to be found, you don't need to be found. I cannot find her anywhere.
Trust that I will, like if it's meant to be, that we will.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you left, did you come here?
No, I went to Kansas City.
And
then after Kansas City, I lived in Chicago for like a hot minute. And then I moved to New York. And I spent 9 years in New York. And then I moved here.
Wow. 9 years in New York doing what?
Well, I worked. I mean, I was just trying to I did theater. You know, I went to legit theater school, like, you know, as an actor.
Where'd
and
you
like
go?
was shown. It was Missouri State. So it's like the other like non-conservatory school in Missouri, like for theater. Great school, like got like Kathleen Turner scholarship.
Wow.
Like she like, you know, it was wonderful. But, you know, when I went to New York, I just couldn't find my place. You know, I just could not.
Where'd you live?
I lived all over. First I lived in Inwood, up in Canada, like 207th Street.
By the cloisters, right?
Yeah, exactly, right there. And then I lived in Brooklyn for a while, I lived in Park Slope, and then I ended up living the bulk of my time in Queens.
And hey, Queens!
Hi.
Are you from Queens?
Yes, girl, you're from Queens.
Child, I'm from.
I love Queens.
My parents are normal.
Yeah.
No,
Wait,
how's that
are you
joke?
from Queens? No, I'm from normal parents.
That fucking East Coast shit. They will nail you, bitch. They will nail you. I love it.
So, and what era was this? What years were you in New York?
New York was like 2002 to like 2010.
Oh, great.
It's like right when we left.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, I left. When did I leave? I left in 98.
You left before because I stayed to do the radio. The only reason I came out here in 2000, I knew it was 2002 because I gave birth to my youngest kid.
That's right.
And then I came right out.
Right.
And you picked me up at the airport with my baby.
That's
You're like,
right.
come on.
Yeah.
Come on over here.
So you were there and you came out here and did you always have the Wendy Ho character?
I mean, I did. Like, I mean, it was just something I would pull out as a parlor trick at like cast parties and stuff. You know, I was a musical theater girl, and like they were like, "You guys see this girl? She will rap and she will sing, and you will close your eyes and you'll be like, what is going on right now?" You know. And so it just kind of followed me wherever I went, and I then met up with this music producer, and we were kind of working on some legit stuff, you know, singing, whatever. And I put out this like joke CD for a Christmas present from our friends called Wendy Ho, Bitch Off a Leash. And they went crazy. And it kind of like back in the day before we had computers or whatever, like they just passed it around.
Yeah.
And so it got to the point where like I would go to a party and be like, Wendy Jo, are you Wendy Ho? Are you that girl? Are you the dirty rapper? I became known as the dirty rapper. And I was like, yes, I am. And like they would stop. Okay, we have a special guest in the house tonight. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'm going to do this. So it really just continued on. And I gave that CD to the producer I was working with. And he was like, why are you not doing this? Like, this is the funniest thing and the most original thing that you do. Like, the people love. Like, why wouldn't you? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of scared, I guess.
Isn't it funny? You know, we experience this on RuPaul's Drag Race all the time where the girls, the most obvious thing, they will overlook it. And they think, well, no, I can't do that because
too obvious.
It's too obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that is where inspiration comes from. That's what you should be looking at.
Yeah.
In perfect example, and you'll know because you're a fan of the show, Jiggly with the comedy.
Yes.
Show. What am I going to do? Talk about eating chicken?
Yes. Even when she said it, I busted up laughing.
You're like, hello, that's exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah. But it's funny that way how the universe has stage direction for us and we usually overlook it, you know? Yeah. So the universe was saying, hey, you a hoe. You a hoe. And you will always be a hoe.
Well, that's a good reputation to live up to, my dear. I wouldn't mind that.
Is.
Yeah.
So then the first time I became aware of you was through one of the videos on YouTube. And it became one of those things where people would pass it around. You remember? People still do that.
Yeah,
but they pass a video around and around and around and you have to see it.
Yeah.
And what video was that? Was it a takeoff on a song?
Yes.
Was it?
It was a parody.
The
parody.
Fuck Me song?
It was a
yes, Adams. You can fuck me in my bedroom.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's her name?
Alita Adams.
Alita Adams. Right. Yes. That was brilliant. Now, Elite Adam sue you or anything? Or something we don't need to talk about?
Is she fine?
No.
I mean, as far as I know, I mean, she's from Kansas City too. Hey, girl.
Oh,
I mean,
that's right. Is that why you did it?
No, I mean, I did it, I mean, purely out of like sitting down at a piano with my friends, and I used to sing that song. And a lot of the songs I do sing like come from that. Like, I love to sing that song. Like, I sing Bill Withers' Grandma's Hands,
yes.
but I changed it to Meemaw's Pussy.
She likes to sing that at the church gatherings. Yes, yes.
Well, see, again, that's
but I like to sing that song, and so we were sitting down, and like I just started riffing. I was like, you can get here, you can get inside me right now. And my friend was like, just kept playing. He was like, just please keep going, please keep going. And so we wrote it, you know, and it just came out of a moment like that. But that was the song that like took me over into the drag world.
Right.
When I recorded that, no, fuck me.
Fuck me. Yeah, that's when I knew of you. I didn't know what you did because I knew you were a comic. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw that, I was like, oh, I completely get it, 100%. She's right here in my mind.
What were some of the lyrics of "Fuck Me"? You can fuck me in
my bedroom. Right. You can fuck me in my bathroom. You can fuck me in my kitchen. You can fuck me from behind.
But that's the thing. That goes back to what I was saying earlier, is the irreverence and people who don't take the Matrix too seriously.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's funny. And all the people that I gravitated toward, like, you know, Tamiko Cook, is that you understand nothing is to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I love anytime we can make fun of that seriousness, but a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
They take it all. They believe they are the character that they've been assigned to play.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It is. And whenever I end up with somebody like that in the dressing room, I can feel it. And I'm like, oh no.
Yes.
We're not like, because, you know, like the dressing room is like where it's at for me. Like, you know, now like I've been around long enough that like, you know, the show, great. If it goes well, icing on the cake, great. Right. But the dressing room is where it's at.
It's sacred.
Fun.
Yeah.
And it's sacred, you know, and it shouldn't be a place where we take ourselves seriously or we feel competitive or we need to like be reading each other or whatever, you know, like it should just be fun. But when I get with somebody that I can tell, I'm like, oh, you take it to this area.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
It happens a lot. And so you be good to play dirty charades with, because Michelle and I, we play dirty charades all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, and it's fun to come up with the key, though, for dirty charades is that you cannot change the syllables of a word. Like the other day, I know I usually happens when I'm watching Jeopardy and they'll say the name of a book or the name of a movie and I go, oh my God, that's perfect.
You have to write it down.
Yeah, I have to write it down. I did that the other day with a TV show, I Dream of Weenie.
Oh my God!
Which is brilliant. I Dream of Weenie.
I mean, here's a perfect example of what Ruth's talking about. Annie, get your gun. We often change to Annie, get your cum, right?
Yes.
But you can't change it to Annie, get your cum rag.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
there you go.
No,
adding.
Here's another example. You know, Goldie Hawn. You know, her movie House Shitter, which is a perfect example. Of a. It's a good. That's
a good one. Yeah.
But I will tell you right now, shampooper will not work.
Right, because you're adding the purr.
You're adding an extra syllable.
It actually does work in real life, just not for
in real life. You know, it does work. You know, but we have a list of words. We have a list of words that we use, and you just replace those words. You know, and it's
queef is a big one.
I love queef.
Anytime queef can replace anything,
it is great. You know, I know why the cage bird queefs.
Oh.
You know.
I know why she do.
Yeah, prelude to a queef.
Yes.
You know, it goes on. Queef of the Spider Woman.
And we can only change one word per title.
One word per title.
As tempting as it is to change
only one word.
Only one.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a little break right now, but when we come back, we got more Wendy Ho, and we're going to be laughing at everything.
Everything.
Hey, Michelle, let's talk about Boll and Branch sheets.
Okay.
I love these sheets so much. Man, oh man, you know, when I come home from work, and I work a lot.
Yes, you do, baby.
I need luxury. I need something that's going to make me feel good. I spend so much time in that bed. I want it to be the best.
You get out of a hot bath.
Yes.
You slip into those cool sheets.
Uh-huh.
And they are like amazingly silky butter on your
They really
thigh.
are. They really are. And listen, I've paid buku cash for the sheets at the department store. They are so, they're not even on par with these Boll Branch sheets.
Well, that's the thing about Boll Branch. You guys, whoever like loves those really high thread
Expensive,
counts
yeah.
and expensive sheets, the only place normally you could have gotten them was at a department store at a boutique.
Yeah.
But now, because of Boll Branch, Boll and Branch, they are charging you about half the price what stores and boutiques would be charging, and you would get lesser quality from there. The quality here is so unbelievable, and they're so sure you guys are going to fall in love the way Rue and I have, that they're going to give you 30 nights to try their sheets out. If you don't love them for any reason at all, they're going to take them back. They're going to give you your money back, no hassle. And
what? There's more?
Yes, bottom. If you order right now, they're going to give you $50 off a set of sheets plus free shipping. Just go to bollandbranch.com, BOLL and branch.com, and use that promo code. What?
Are you?
Exactly.
We are back with Wendy Ho, just having a good old time.
Okay.
I love, I like I said, when I first met you, I thought, oh, she's from St. Louis, you know.
You knew right away?
No,
She's
I just
from
felt
somewhere
that.
over there.
Yeah, in that area, you know, because, I saw this documentary on PBS recently about funk and the funk music and how those musicians had been kids whose parents had moved from the South to the Midwest, had good jobs at the factories, and these were kids whose parents, they had garages and basements, which was a new phenomenon for colored people, for brown-skinned colored people from the South. I can say that because I am colored. And which, by the way, I love the term colored. I've always loved it. I think it's so
Why do you
beautiful.
love it?
Because I love colors.
Because you're thinking of colors in their
It's
right?
beautiful.
Like, why wouldn't you embrace that?
But the funk movement with Ohio players and all those bands from Ohio.
She could have been from Detroit, though.
Yeah, same thing. It's the same thing.
Toledo is the poor man's Detroit.
Yeah?
It really is.
It really
How much
is.
poorer can you get than Detroit?
I know it, but trust me.
All these groups come from
Chipo.
Ohio. All these groups come from Ohio.
Yeah.
How players, brass construction, all from the 70s. It goes on and on. But it's because economically they had basements and garages where the kids could practice.
play. They could
work
The
it
parents
out.
would work it out.
Yep.
The parents would be at work. The kids were there starting bands. So, so I don't know how I got onto that subject, but
Because you said when you first met her that you knew right away she was from that
Like
kind
where
of
you were,
Yes. So the YouTube videos took off, and so now you're playing clubs and you're doing all over the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been such a wonderful time to come up as an artist, to have so much freedom to do what you want to do and not have to have a middleman tell you, yeah, you can do that, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I wish I had more help so I could do more things, but I
Right.
also trust that that will come, you know?
I do it all
You know
myself,
what I
girl.
mean?
You can do it all yourself.
And
You
you
can do
really
it.
can, though.
Yeah.
And you really should anyways,
Yes.
because if you're going to work with other people,
Rue
you should be
believes
able
that.
to
Yes.
tell people and communicate what you want.
Right.
And you can't know how to communicate that unless you've done it.
Exactly.
Are
you
you a
know,
heterosexual woman?
I am.
Do you have a husband, a boyfriend?
I got a husband.
And how's your husband feel about what you do?
well, he work at World of Wonder, girl, so he love it.
Can you believe that?
I had
didn't
no
know
idea.
that.
Did
Yeah.
you know that?
No, I didn't.
Who's your husband?
His name is Stas Tagios.
Is he in another floor that we never get in,
He's
in the cubby hole?
DP. He's the main camera person for Big
that's
Frida.
On Big Frida's
I
show.
didn't know
He
that.
played with you guys a couple of times.
That's
Where he's come in and he
amazing.
did Fantasia's too. So he went with her when she was a judge on your show. And
So he
was
gets what you
I was
do.
over there. Oh yeah, he's in it all
Completely.
the time. And
Yeah.
he directed Poop Noodle.
And how
I
did you
love
meet
it.
him?
I met him in New York doing a reality show. This guy named Eric Schaefer had a show on Showtime called I Can't Believe I'm Still Single.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted me to be on it. And I had seen it before. And it was kind of like his take of, the Rose show.
Oh, the Bachelor, yes.
Yeah, The Bachelor.
Oh, I
And
was like, The Rose, Bette Midler,
the Rose
what?
show,
Okay.
the Bachelor.
Bachelor,
And
gotcha.
he was like dating all these women. And I'd seen the show. I was like, I don't want to be one of those women that you date.
Oh, he wanted you
Right.
to be one of them?
Yeah, and I was like, I want to be one of them hoes. And he was
Right.
like, well, how about you come on and you just sing your shit and I just am fawning over you and I get to reject you. And I was like, okay. We can do that. And so that's what happened. And he was the cameraman on that. And then in the next season, they addressed that the cameraman and the guy who can't get married, who can't believe he's still single, are together. He's like, oh my God, everybody that I know is hooking up and getting married but me, including my cameraman.
I love that.
So that's how we met. I came out here and like we just started out as friends, and I came out here to tour and like do club dates around here, and then I met up with him, and it was just,
and he
it
put
was
a ring
on.
on. Yeah,
It was on. Yeah, and
it
it happened really quickly too. Like it was like 6 weeks in, and he was down on one knee.
No,
and I was
when
like,
you know,
what
you
the
know.
hell? Yeah.
Wow.
I was just like, but I mean, of course, the answer was yes. I mean, my heart was just, I mean, it still is like, just he's my bear.
I love that. So Stasi, he's Greek.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. So, and then all of this happened. So in your dream world, what do you want to do? You want to do television or movies or more songs, tour more?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to just continue to do more of, what I'm doing. The TV thing, I don't know if that's my medium or not.
Well,
I haven't had enough
refreshing.
experience with it, like enough to know. I know, like we were talking about earlier, like the process of filming drives me crazy.
How old are
Right.
you?
I'm 37.
So your patience is just, trust me, it only gets worse as you
It
get
drives me crazy.
older.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And so I love like what I'm doing now, like where like I go, I show up, I do a show,
Yeah.
I'm done in 4 hours. I
Get
go
that
back to
cash
the
up
hotel,
front.
get
Yeah.
that cash, it's great. But I also know that like in order to
if it's
make
for
it
you.
easier, it would be nice to be on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
but
make
so-
those
but-
road gigs
but
easier.
not always. To make the road look, it'll help your bookings, no doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say, and this is not a reflection of Drag Race, but I know a lot of people that do a lot of reality shows, just simple reality shows. The money is not what it was at
Oh,
one
no.
point.
Sure.
So originally they were making a killing doing
Right.
these reality shows and Housewives and what else. But the money it's not that
No.
anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So what it does do is help brand yourself, even like with a book. Right.
Right.
Ruth
Sure.
told me, she said, you're not going to get rich off your book, but it will help with your brand.
Yes.
It's like a big pie. It's like a big pizza pie. And
yeah.
you have to have lots of different slices of different elements.
You do.
Because the audience actually wants so much more. They're insatiable
Yes.
bottoms, all
They
of them.
are.
They really
They are
just
Very
bottomless
demanding.
bottoms,
hungry,
girl.
hungry bottoms. So you have to service them.
You do.
You know,
and
they-
I started doing a podcast myself.
Yes.
And that's been wonderful. Like, I mean, I just love the format of it, and it's quick and it's audio and it's intimate, and it
where
doesn't
do
take...
people find your podcast? What's the name
On
of it?
iTunes, it's Wendy Experience.
Wendy Experience.
Mm-hmm.
And now, okay, so
Now, did Wendy Williams have a problem with you calling it the Wendy Experience?
Well, not that I know of, because she's left that behind.
Because that was
Right.
her radio show for
her radio
her
show
radio
is called
show is the Wendy Experience.
Oh, okay.
For
And we
100
looked
years.
all that up before, like we
And they should-
decided,
no problem.
and like it wasn't. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if she has a problem with it, but
No,
I
but
don't
when
think
I
she
saw it for the
would.
first time, I went, oh, I automatically assumed, being a New Yorker
Yes.
and growing
Yeah.
up with Wendy as my radio mentor,
Right.
I automatically went, Wendy's got a podcast, and I click, and I go, it's Wendy Ho,
Uh-huh.
Right.
which I was very excited about. But then I went, huh.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you that. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Now, see, if I were your Barry Gordy, I was the Barry
Yes.
Gordy to your Diana Ross, or your whatever.
Maurice Starr to your new kids on the block.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I would make a vehicle like a 6-series arc of the Wendy Experience, and kind of like Pee-wee, but I would have this character
Yeah.
that would get into these different situations. I'd probably do 6 episodes, and I'd probably do them first as a web series that are 10 minutes each or less,
Even
and
6 minutes,
or
yeah.
even 6 minutes, that show a television network or Amazon or Netflix what your show would be.
Right.
And I would write something like that. That's how I would do it.
If you wanted to go
Well,
that route.
that would be the next step to
Yeah.
get more people to
On
go to the
board.
bookings,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
to sell things
It would
and
be.
all that.
And we've talked about it, and it's so funny that you say Pee-wee, because I always I've started now branding my live shows that I book like other girls on as Ho House.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I would want the show to be called, is
Yeah.
Ho House.
I love it.
And that it would be something like Pee-wee, and my husband has puppets and all. So this is
Sure.
kind of
Oh
my God, I
all
love
in
that.
process.
Yes.
That we would love to do more sketch material and stuff. It's just a matter of making the time and having the money to do it.
you want
So-
it, it'll happen.
Yeah.
You'll manifest.
It will. It will.
Well, now's the time, especially with connected to World of Wonder. Your husband's there, and
And he's a DP.
he's a DP. I think
That's
this
not
is,
double penetration, by the way.
It's
By
not.
the way,
Yeah.
director
BT
of photography.
dubs.
Exactly.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Be.
But I think that's something that's really doable because the character is fully realized, and you just travel everywhere. Is there a part of the United States that is just loves the Wendy Ho experience more than any another.
Like, where do you keep going back and keep going back? They keep booking you.
Philadelphia is a market that
makes sense.
the hoe. And
What club is it? The Townhouse? No,
Well,
that's
Voyeur.
DC.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
Voyeur. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are gay audiences?
Okay.
Oh, come on, girl.
Yeah, all of them.
Come on,
Every
girl.
single one.
Really?
Every
She
single one,
ain't
yeah.
Sharon Taylor Swift audience.
Yeah, no. I mean, I started out in comedy clubs in New York,
Yeah.
and then just the way that I was treated, I left. You
It's
know,
gross.
and I went to the gay clubs.
Right.
Women aren't treated right in comedy because women
No.
aren't seen as funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody in I'm not going to say this openly because I do not give two shits.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody treats women comics with the respect that they deserve. Yes, granted, if you look at numbers, male comics are more successful and we get it. But there are plenty of funny women
Oh, so many.
that'll never get their due
Yep.
because they are just not taken
Well,
seriously.
let me play devil's advocate because this is I was driving down the street today and I saw a sign. I think it was for STDs. Honestly,
Was I on it?
no, it wasn't you.
Not
but,
today, girl.
but it was a preventative thing. But the slogan they were being there was double entendre. They were saying women could do anything a man can do, and it was trying to tell people, you need to check your dick and all that stuff. Yeah. But I was thinking about that slogan and what is it if you look under the hood of the experience of females on this planet and in our culture, what is it that holds women back? Why is it? And I grew up with all women, and I could say this, women are not kind to other women.
Absolutely.
And that's one. The second thing is women grow up with this idea of the white knight who's going to save you. We see it in the Cinderella, the umpteenth, 100th Cinderella movie that's come out.
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's where that someone else is going to save you, and that you have to behave a certain way so that someone else isn't scared of you.
But that's where it comes from, you see. It comes from even before Cinderella and there was a Walt Disney, there was history.
Sure.
Women were not allowed to vote. Women were not allowed to go to the beach in bathing suits that showed more than their ankles. Women were not given a voice. Women were only there to breed. That was our only job. And in some countries, it still is.
Sure. Yeah.
So because history says that, it's just like the Bible. People believe what is written. And because it was written 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, whatever, they take it as gospel.
Right.
And that's the way it is. So what it is, essentially, is lack of evolution.
You're right. But what my devil's advocate point is, what role do women play in perpetuating this way of thinking?
Well, believing that, for starters, that is gospel. The second part is, just like you said, we as women, like, I love Wendy Ho. I love that she's a strong woman. She's in the same circuit that I'm in. I'll do nothing but support her, retweet her, lift her up.
Absolutely.
I love what she does.
Yep.
And I want to be there. But there's a lot of women that wouldn't do that. They would say, that's my competition.
Competitive, yep.
Right.
She ain't taking my spot.
Right.
That's my gig.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of seeing that there is a place for everybody. There's more than one Kathy Griffin in this world.
There is.
There's more,
and there's room for everybody.
Completely. And us lifting up each other strengthens us.
Yeah, you're right.
People don't see that.
On an intellectual level, you're absolutely right. But on the for reals, that actually becoming something that is really happening. It's very real. I mean, years ago, I read this book. What's her name? Maureen Dowd from the New York Times. She read a book called Are Men Necessary? And it was interesting because it chronicled the feminist movement from, Betty Friedan, I think I'm saying it right, and Germaine Greer up into today. And it showed that these women who had gone to colleges and gotten their MBAs and stuff and law degree, exactly, they realized it's too damn hard to compete with men.
Yeah.
So they said, you know what? I'm gonna marry this dude. I'm gonna, she's on the cell phone. She's got this huge fucking stroller in a small New York cafe, talking on the phone, and she's taking care of this kid.
But that works for her, boo. That works for her.
But the trend toward of women saying, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna compete with men in that world.
Scary.
I'm gonna go back." To the house.
That's the problem, is that it's not an either or situation. You don't say, okay, I'm not a woman, like, because I don't have kids and I don't do that. That makes me, I'm not a woman anymore.
Right.
And then you don't go to the other side of it and say, well, then I'm going to take on all the masculine attributes in order to be a man and succeed in this world, because that's what works. That's what's been modeled for us. So I think what's happening now is it's starting to really funnel down, and we're getting a balance of like people that see that like we are human beings, and regardless of our genitalia, we all have attributes that are masculine, feminine, and that each sex has power, and each sex also has like, you know, defects. For sure, you know, that bring us down. And I think for a long time, yes, like women, you know, our defects have been the things that have been really amplified, and that we haven't helped one another on it either, because we've pointed them out to one another. Well, this is what you do and this is what you do. And I think now it's starting, the consciousness is starting to kind of come around, that where I'm seeing a lot more women support one another, and to realize like, her good is not going to take away from my good.
No, there is like, room for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's really important to support. And that's the whole thing with Gay on Gay too, supporting each other within the community. It strengthens us as a whole. I am a married woman, married almost 18 years with 2 children, who is the sole breadwinner for her family. My husband's been a stay-at-home dad from the minute we met. He's been the guy who stayed home, but it doesn't take away from his masculinity, and it doesn't make me more masculine. It's just the way that our roles were assigned in our lives that we're okay with. If anything, it strengthens us as a unit. And it's about that. It's about taking away genitalia, taking away sexuality. When I was in radio, that is a male-driven field. I did it for 17 years, making maybe 3/4 of what, and I wouldn't say half because I did make more than what the men made. They always made more than me. And I fought, and I did more than them. I worked harder than them. I worked longer hours than them, and I still received less, because it still goes back to history, because women don't make as much as men. So we have to fight even harder to break through those barriers, to show the world that we are doing what the men are doing.
And to stop apologizing for being a woman. You know, I mean, that's the thing, is like historically, like femininity was such a power that, you know, they stamped it out, because they were like, actually, you know, women, if we're really going to get right down to it, and you want to say who is more like the creator, it's women, because we give life. So that's what we do. So I feel like a lot of that was just, you know, completely stamped out of history. We were given this God that was masculine, and that, you know, you don't ask questions, and it made us apologize for being
Right. Well, it talks about that in those books, like the Da Vinci Code, and a lot of like the Celestine
Prophecy,
all that stuff. It talks about that, and where that change happened, and how, you know, people, men especially, are innately, deeply jealous of the fact that they can't have children. You know?
Why is it taboo to be feminist, to say that word? Why is it taboo to be a strong woman? Just like you said.
Because it's gotten that, you know, it's gotten that reputation of, oh, that means she's militant. That means she's a man. That means that she's going to try to take me down. And you know what I mean? Like,
then so
feminism to me.
Toughen up, bitch.
Right.
Get it together. But feminism to me is just, it's equal. It's just they're equal. Yeah, you know.
Okay, listen, I guess my role today is devil's advocate, because, you know, we all grow up with this idea of equality that we get from kindergarten, and it's a way to explain equality to children. It's like, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me, and that's great, and it's a basis for it. But are we really equal? Now, I know people are going to get beat up.
No, but go ahead.
This is something that people have a hard time understanding. Are we equal? Some people...
You mean gender?
Not just gender.
You mean
I
humans?
mean, in humans. Some people are more talented. Some people are more evolved. Some people understand duality more than others do. Like what I said earlier, certain people who believe the Matrix, lock, stock, and barrel. And then there are people who actually have a mind that could have two conflicting ideas going on at the same time and understand both.
Well, I don't think we're all emotionally equal. Absolutely not. We're not all emotionally equal, and we're not all monetarily equal. No, you can't be equal on all playing grounds. I think equality means we all deserve the same rights.
Right.
Whether we take them or not, or use them or not, is up to us. But the fact that we can have them.
It doesn't mean I'm going to have the same strengths and weaknesses as you. Like, you know, like you are going to have strengths that I'm not going to have. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know, so that I can lean on those because I don't have them.
Sure.
And I'm going to have strengths that you may not have, that you will need to call upon. And that's where I think the equality is that, you know, it may be in different areas, but we all have something to contribute. Mm-hmm. You know, we all have something to bring to the table. And the problem is that oftentimes I think back with the women thing is that that's looked at as not something that is as strong
a value,
or a value
it's
as
like,
it is
she's
in
a
a
woman.
man.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's funny. It's a funny thing. And we're in a weird time in history now where I feel like we're at a turning point.
We are.
Where it's actually a
sure.
boiling point.
Because we're at war with ourselves.
We are at war with
Which
ourselves.
is scary, but true.
It's so weird, but something's got to give. Something as big has got to give. But how are we going to get people to understand? How are we going to get people to really see the bigger picture? You know, I like to talk about my proverbial Google Earth button where I press it and I get to see the whole landscape of a situation. You know, before I make any decision, before I do anything, you know, you better ask somebody, you know, where you belong. So it's a weird thing. But, you know, I hear people talk about equality all the time. And I don't believe it's the same as kindergarten. I don't believe it's the one for you, one for me,
it's not
one
sharing.
for you.
That's not equality.
Yeah,
Right.
That's different.
And not everybody is going to get, you know, equal.
No.
We're not. We're
We're
not
just
going to get
not.
the same cash and prizes
Exactly.
as
No.
everybody else. You're
No.
not. You know,
Some people win more at life.
Yeah, and there's a lot of luck involved with life. There's
Yep.
a lot of, you know, circumstance. I believe that, you know, sometimes it depends on how many times you've been here.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like, have you been here a lot? Have you learned
Right.
the lessons? How
Right.
much more do you have to learn? Do you have to learn a lot? Do
And if you didn't learn,
did you not learn?
Did you
Do
close
you need to
those
learn one more
things up?
time?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a real trip. But, you know, that's why we're here to clear up all those things.
Let's
That's
hope.
right.
I mean, that's
You know.
what we're supposed to be doing.
But that is the contribution of entertainment, I think. You know,
I
if
think
you
so,
can
too.
put it in a way that like is entertainment, that it's not preachy or, you know, this is the right way of doing things, but it, you know, creates an environment where we have discussions like this.
Absolutely. And, you know, because I think the most important lessons on this planet are taught through metaphor, through song, through innuendo. Like, you know, I love how in cartoons like Bugs Bunny, some of the most political things that go on, you see on there, and they've snuck it in a package that nobody's very, most people aren't aware of it. But when you, so even with The Simpsons, I've seen things on The Simpsons where I think,
You're like,
did
they just
say
did that. Yep.
Family Guy's the same way.
Family Guy is
Even
so smart.
SpongeBob's been doing it for years.
Yes, very, very subversive and provocative. But
Smart.
I believe that it's through music and through art, a lot of the messages of the great messages are told. I think that's why The Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie, and that's why it has prevailed and sustained itself throughout ages, because it's the history of mankind on this planet. And all of the things that she goes through on the Yellow Brick Road, you know, the poppy field represents heroin and drugs. And the friends that she meets, you know, along the way. Every time I get choked up when I think about her when she says say goodbye to the scarecrow. You know, my eyes are
She
tearing
says
up.
you're my
They say,
favorite.
You're my favorite.
Yeah.
And you know, you have people like that in your life, and you think, oh my God. And then the idea that she's going on this journey because she has this idea of what utopia is and what the holy grail, the answer.
Yep.
And she gets there and she says, "You're the wizard."
You're the answer?
That's what I've been fighting
That's the
for.
answer?
You?
Yeah.
You know, and you take a closer look at these things and you go, wait a minute. No, it was you all along. And then she says to the good witch, why do you fucking tell me all I have to do is kick my heels? She says, because you wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
You had to go this way. And I have to feel that we as a people on this planet, we've had to go all this way, through feminism, to this and the fighting and what's happening with racial things right now, to get to a place where we understand that there's only one of us here.
But it also takes us, what you just said takes us back to where we began, full circle to this. If sometimes you don't see what's right in front of your face.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
You're not able to.
Yeah.
You're only able to when you're able to receive.
Yeah. You know, when you say full circle, the first thing that comes to my mind.
Full circle with you.
Yeah, I think I'm fascinated by your love, babe.
Oh, that's they were called Company
sang,
B.
They
sang
full circle.
with you
Yeah.
tonight.
They sang full circle.
Yeah.
Company B with their
they
little
also sang
white
Fascinated. With their North Beach leather outfits and their Betsy Johnson crazy.
and their white wigs like Sia in the video. Those
but
white
they were
things.
spiky.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were spiky. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm fascinated by your love, babe.
Yeah.
That's the wrong key or something.
No, I'm fascinated by the way you make me feel.
Yes. Full circle.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wendy Ho, it's so great talking to you. I got to be on your podcast.
Yeah,
I know. I want you to come over.
I want to. Now, where do you do yours?
In my house, just right
up
over
in the house.
Up in the house.
Up in the crib.
In the Miracle Mile. Yeah, right down the street.
Really? And
where you belong.
Where you belong.
I love it.
It's funny. I do all these things on TV or whatever, and whenever I go into my black speak, it can always get the laugh. It always makes people feel good. It loosens up the situation. Today I was doing the E-show.
Also loosens up my vagina.
Does it?
Ironically enough. Yeah.
But is it still?
My butthole's a little bit of puckering over here. I got to tell you.
It's flooding your basement?
Yeah. Your basement.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
But is it moist? Because the cupcakes. Yes.
She moist, not moldy, just moist.
Yeah. But I was just doing the E-show earlier today, and Randy is up in the booth, from World of Wonder, and he'll send a message down to the floor director to say, Ru, say it more ghetto. So they'll have me redo something. So and do a little
put your neck into it.
I was like, what's she saying?
Come on there.
Yeah, and because he loves it, and he knows, it's what sells the material.
Yeah.
So I want to come on your show.
Yeah,
I want to see your show. We got to get you on our show.
Yeah. I'm here, boo.
You know what? I think we are going to develop this thing. I'm going to talk to the people at World of Wonder and just shoot some ideas around, even if it as a pitch sizzle reel is something on the World of Wonder network. But you have your own. You have your own Wow. Like we have Wow Presents at World of Wonder. The shows. What is your YouTube network called?
Well, I'm just under Wendy the Ho on my channel.
Yes.
And I had some things happen with the Google experience where they took my monetization away, which was really fine because I was making like $2 a year from it.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Why would they do that?
They said there was faulty play going on my channel, and they don't have to prove it. They don't have to do anything. They just say,
we're going to take our $2 back.
We will take our $2 back. So I was like, well, okay. But in any case, like I do stuff for them once in a while, but I don't but I don't have like my own like thing over regular thing.
Right.
But once in a while.
Yeah. No, I think this is something really good. We'll have to talk about this a little bit more.
The whole house, girl.
The whole house. It's great. It's
Come on,
fabulous. But otherwise, we could go to your website and see where you're performing.
Yes, so you can go to wendyexperience.com, and that has all of my social media and everything that you need ho-wise in your life.
And are you going out this weekend to perform somewhere?
I am. I'm going to San Francisco this weekend.
Yay.
I love it up there too. Although last time I was there, I got my shit stolen out of my trunk of my car. So
you
I hope
drive
that don't
up
happen
there?
again.
You drive up there?
Why'd you leave your stuff in your trunk? Girl?
Well, because I went and did a photo shoot. I know better, but I went and did a photo shoot, and right after the photo shoot, they were like, "Oh, there's a show over at Oasis. Let's just go. And I was like, well, I have all my stuff. Do you want to take it back up? And they're like, we'll just put it in the trunk. It should be fine. And it was not fine.
What area of San Francisco was this in?
Soma, south of Market.
South of Market. Oh, right. Yeah, down there, not close to the Mission.
Yeah. It's it's pretty cracky down there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
But I mean, the turnaround from it was like amazing. Like everybody, this community, unbelievable. Like turned it around. Somebody started a GoFundMe. I didn't even start it.
How cute is that?
They gave me more than I asked for. I was able to not only get everything back that was in my bag, pretty much.
Right.
But I also was able to like pay it forward to this person like that like really needed it. Like she was missing her leg, had been amputated, and I was just like, I can replace my shit.
Yes. Yes.
So it was amazing that the community afforded me that opportunity. And I feel like sometimes things happen like that just to show you how completely like taken care of and loved you are.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
It really was a turnaround.
Wow.
So, but I love San Francisco.
I do
Nothing
too.
will ever change that.
It's my favorite American city is San Francisco.
Why didn't you go there then?
You mean to live there?
Yeah.
I would love to live there for like 6 months or something. But I gotta work.
Right. Well, you weren't. I mean, when you first came,
right?
Because you didn't come to a TV show. When you first came, you just came out here.
I came out here, but you know what happened?
Still business here. I mean, it's
you know what happened? I was living in New York. Everything was happening. I was doing all my stuff. I wasn't sure if the VH1 show was going to be picked up again, and we had filmed the season. In fact, we did 100 episodes of that. I came out here to get something going, and then I got into this acting class. And the acting class with
Chubbuck,
Ivana
right?
Chubbuck,
Yeah.
yes, I realized that I was not in touch with my emotions. And that led me to therapy, and therapy led me to sobriety. And then the ball started rolling. So in essence, I sort of went into semi-retirement for about almost 4 or 5 years. I worked, but I took care
of yourself.
Took care of myself, and that was my LA experience. But going to San Francisco, I'd love to live there at one point for 6 months or something because I love it. But I said I have to work down here.
Down the road. Down the road.
Yeah, it'd be a great place to go, like, and retire. Like, I would dream of, like, living in Marin.
Oh, yeah.
And then just being able to cross that bridge every day.
It's just gorgeous.
Because you get everything there. You get the trees that are huge.
And then there's the wharf.
And then you get the city.
And the culture, exactly.
Yeah, where it's just...
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, there you have it, kids. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.